got what? Ah. So I just got back from watching the new Evil Dead movie, and it was awesome. I have not had a movie engage me and, in this case, get my pulse racing like this since I was a child. Um, And I walked to the theater. My wife is off rock climbing in California, and she has the car. And so I was walking to and from the theater, and I had lots of time to think about these things as I was walking. And I wanted to talk to you about fear, because we throw fear around like it's this one thing, and it's not. See, the body really only recognizes stress. I mean, it's just stress. It's a stimulus on your system that your body recognizes as a threat in some way, shape, or form, and then your body reacts. It goes into, it may, it doesn't always, but it may go into adrenaline dump mode. It could go into like full-on fight or flight. It can go into freezing, and some people freeze. It can go into the more primal, what some people happen to. Luckily, I wasn't in a theater full of weaklings, but in some movies you have the girlies all jumping and screaming and screeching and stuff, and that's silly because it's just a movie, but at the same time they're letting themselves get involved in the plot. When you can insert yourself into the plot, whether you are empathizing with a character or you are playing with your imagination at the same time and kind of putting yourself in playing the what if game, what would I do, which is where I was watching it. I don't empathize at all, and for some reason I did. And putting myself into it, and I think it was because of the glorious amounts of violence in there. I have this thing for violence. And putting myself into it, it made me start thinking, how would I deal with this kind of situation? How would I deal with this level of assault? How would I deal with some unkillable force assaulting me? On the one side, it's a 120-pound girl who I could easily pick up and throw through a wall. On the other side, she's possessed by something unnatural and is capable of incredible feats of atrocity. So, it's putting yourself into these situations. It gives your brain something to play with, and my brain got wrapped up in it enough to raise my pulse. And I was thinking about it because I didn't feel fear. I never once felt like I was in danger. It was more just like that excitement, that stress response of like, oh shit, something could happen. It's that magnificence of imagination and playing inside of another world. And just piggybacking off of this fear response, thinking about the adrenaline dump, the increased heart rate, the using breath for control. I mean, it was all there. And once I recognized it, because I'm sure it was happening for a while before I recognized it, but once I recognized it, it was like my training came into play, and I was starting to try to bring myself into control through the situation. I found it to be a particularly useful exercise. Now, can you do this routinely? Well, probably not. How many movies or TV shows actually get your heart racing? Not too many. I mean, maybe if you are a particular scaredy cat, the common horror movie will have you jumping, but I haven't had this level of engagement in a film since I scared the shit out of myself watching Event Horizon in junior high school. which going back and watching it a couple years ago, it was not so scary. But, junior high school kid. So it was an interesting exercise. And I want you to start thinking about fear. You see, fear is just a stress response. It's specifically a threat response. And you need to start being able to work past it. You need to be able to start recognizing it and controlling it and working past it. Because if you truly want to excel as a martial artist, as somebody who is involved in the world of action and violence, even if a zombie apocalypse never happens, even if a violent demon possession never happens, even if the gates of hell never open up, there are still plenty of scary things in the world. And if you can center yourself and control yourself within that storm, you will fare much, much better. That's all I got for you, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Good journey.